Mm. Oh. Hi, how are you? Very good. Coach. You. Hey, we need. Hello, guys. So, uh, if you have, let's make a seminar and discuss a bit what you didn't away with the camera as well. Can answer your questions. All right. It's for me to be quest and about a little bit about I'm a decathlete, former decathlon, as well working now. I was training by myself. My coach was asking, and I was away with kids since I was 16, 17, and I enjoy, and that's why I pursued my career as a coach. But now I can coach college. I finished bachelor and master degrees in science. Took me a lot. And as Mindaugas asked me to talk about more about youth, as I am working as well, about sensitive periods, because as I know you're working with youth, right? Youth athletes, young athletes from, I don't know, from 8 years old, 6 or 12, or what is the oldest age you're working? 6, 7 is the youngest, and 16 the oldest. 16, okay, so perfectly. It was maybe you know that the school was Sabonis basketball school before, not Žalgiris school. 3 years ago maybe I was working then as well, and I had opportunity to work from 8 years old, 7 years old till 17, 16, even 18. Some of the guys, so that widened my specter quite a lot. and it was quite interesting and like really hard to work, because like with little kids it's completely different thing than 16, 17. And but what I liked with the, let's say, 18, 19, or 8, 9 years old guys, that they're really keen to do everything. But as it states, like at first we have to train, then train to compete, then train to win, right? So fundamentals and how it starts with the fun was the biggest thing with the kids, and I like the philosophy of the also basketball coaches in Sabonis, now Žalgiris school, that at first they want for kids to enjoy, because you want them to come every practice, and if you're gonna do a specialization right away, when they're gonna turn 18, they're gonna be veterans, right? So from the fun perspective, it was the goal to train the kids. And that's how I also did my career with little ones. So at first, learning the fundamentals, what we did with the coach, because I was learning from them as well. We did some exercises, then we're doing a game. Exercises, game. From them to relax a little bit, and then as a reward, after if they did well, let's say in the exercises, they learn, they take him to the cell, they try in the court, you have a reward, right? You have a little game. So that was the philosophy we did till, I don't know, 10, 11 years old. Then they get more and more interesting, because I don't know, I think you are familiar with the sensitive periods, to develop speed, coordination, or skill, which, let's say, in bachelor degree I finished about maturation with kids, and interesting to see that kids first window, let's say there's window opportunities, even now in the long-term athlete development, there's some changes that you can learn skill or physical throughout the whole teenager years, since 6-year-old, but it used to be the philosophy that the first window for boys, 8 years old, for the speed development. When they're that age, they're gonna be really fast, they're gonna absorb everything and develop speed really quickly, right? Then somehow this window shuts down till the maturation, which is for boys 13, 14, 15, for girls it's earlier, 12, 12 something maybe ish, depends on the girl. So in that period, let's say from 8 till 12, when there's like the literature says that that speed is not so good to develop, now there's other thinking that speed is not a physical ability but a skill, because everything develops in our brain. So we have to develop the motor control, even though it's not sensitive for a kid. And especially everyone is individual, even though we like to train everybody as a team. But more and more it goes that every player is individual, and he's gonna accept it or develop his speed faster or slower, depends on himself, right? But I don't know if you heard, and then you're like as well teaching them, coaching them about the coordination. This phenomena, awkwardness phenomena, maybe you heard of it. When let's say you have kid, maybe you experienced it. You have really good kid that like shooting really well, like free throws, 3-pointers, or he's doing skills, he's controlling the ball, dribbling is like exceptional, right? And something happens and he's not so good anymore. Let's say he cannot hit those 9 out of the free throws, or like, I don't know, 5 of 10 3-pointers. So what basically happens is not that the kid is slacking. It's not that he's not training, he's maturing, he's following the girls now, he's not going to school and so on. So it's just something that when let's say our body grows, especially like when there's like peak height velocity in teenager years, brains are not catching up with the body, right? Our limbs are growing faster, which means our brains are not managing to follow the limbs. So basically, if my brain has this motor control already in like prefrontal cortex, that from free throw line, I have to use velocity, this speed to throw to make the basket, right? When the kid is growing, his limbs are growing as well, legs growing, he's becoming more, he has more power, right? So he has to adjust that body, but our motor control is not yet adjusted, but our body wants to throw with the previous motor control, right? let's say I have this program in my mind, but let's say my hand is 1 meter long, I'm gonna throw at this velocity, right? Or do the dribble at this velocity. But the hand or legs are longer, right? So the player is not so good anymore. And coaches get angry at them. You're not doing well at the training. You're not repeating. You need to more work. Which the kid is like he's doing everything he can, but psychologically he has a lot of pressure. And at this point, coaches should relax. It's completely normal. And while I learn and while studying with the coaches that you have to give them space and give them time to mature and be very understanding. And when they're learning speed or coordination or jumps or technique on the basket, strategy, you have to be very patient with them. Like when I said like from 6 to 8 there's speed opportunity, the window opportunity, and then after that let's say it goes skill. So you have to teach them, coach them how to do technique, how to do the fundamentals, how to do landing, how to dribble and everything. Maybe after that even repeat them again, coach them again, because as I said, this awkwardness phenomena is a thing, and some of the coaches that they didn't read it or don't know, they think that the kids are like getting tired or they don't want to train anymore and like beating them hard like you're not trying. But actually, how our body develops, we need to really follow them and understand the kids as well. So maybe I could show you some dribbles, some what I use for kids, even small kids, for let's say at first for coordination as well, because it's not easy for kids, especially even on ladders, to manage their limbs. It's everywhere, and later on it's easier and easier. But for kids, to manage the limbs is really important. So I don't know who's the volunteers. I think I have like 4 guys or something. Do you want just to? At first, it's gonna be easy. You're really good from 3 players. Come here, dribbles and everything. Are you? Yeah, it's not gonna be so hard. I think we need one more, yeah. So nothing hard, right? With the kids, small kids, I don't even go to really extremes. We do simple things, and sometimes even including some fun. So let's repeat everything. It's gonna be easy. I think you sure know everything. So with the small kids, just to manage the limbs, okay? First, we're gonna do everything twice, yeah? So first one slow, just to manage the thing, then, no, just come here, it's alright. And second time, repeat it faster, okay? Second time faster. I have professionals over here. Really nice. Okay. Not bad. This one is trained. Slowly, okay? Slowly. Then simple jumps. But what I like to say to the kids, because it's quite often that they develop knee valgus. So knee valgus is this X, when the kid has the X. So when doing jumps, not to go like this, okay? Because either way, like they're growing big. Most of the basketball players are really big. And the upper weight is the lower limbs are not managed with the upper, because our trunk develops our limbs, right? So on the legs, there's a lot of pressure from our trunk and hands and so on. So the jumps, at first I try to teach them, knees are going where the fingers are seeing, right? If the fingers going there, try to put the knees as well. Like the squat a bit widen, okay? Let's first slowly. Yeah. Knees not to go in, because this problem really, the ACL injuries, ankle injuries, not to the side, but a little bit, right? And the knee watches where the fingers are watching, okay? You don't need to rush. Second time, yeah, faster. Up. Yeah, not bad. It's gonna be easy. These guys knows what they're doing. Then, like, if I see that the kids are catching up really quickly, I'll try to a bit improve the difficulty, maybe jumping to the sides, up. Let's go. It's okay. First one, we're still warming up. Once? Yeah, twice. Yeah, let's do it twice. Because later on we will need those exercises. Yeah, not bad. So, when you're making more and more difficult, now let's go leg from behind. If I see that they're like really catching up quickly, or like the older guys, we need it to be more difficult, because if it's too easy, it's boring, right? Let's go from behind, up, 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 up. Let's try. From behind, yeah. Guys. Yeah, wait, yeah, from behind, yep. Again from behind, the other one, yeah. But yeah, go to front, from behind, good job. Yeah, step by step. Not bad. This one knows what they're doing. From behind, yeah. From behind, good job. Don't miss it. And I really like what Yoga said, especially now in strength and conditioning, coordination, especially speed. Less is more, right? It used to be train hard, again, repeat. Less is more. If you give the rest, especially for our nervous system, let's say what field sprinters, what they do, they maximum sprints minutes. So they run once and they go whistling for 5 minutes, drinking or having a snack, whatever. Again, to develop speed, explosiveness, you really need to give them rest, because our system, our, let's say, restores when you give them rest. If you're gonna go drill by drill, you're gonna develop those slow fibers, and the athletes is gonna be slow. They're gonna run a lot, but they're gonna be slow. And now, this basketball is getting faster and faster. They jump higher, they run faster, especially when I watch Spain League, Madrid versus Barca and so on. Like, it's really fast. So if you want to catch up with the, let's say, what is going to become the basketball faster, and they're gonna jump high and so on, you need to give them rest if you're developing power or speed. Okay? How are you guys? All right? Okay, we did it from behind, right? Let's try from the front. Okay, again, for kids it's really not easy, because limbs are crossing, and for them to manage them, it's really not so easy, especially the young ones. Okay, from the front. Let's go. Yeah, from the front is easier. And if you get second time, let's do faster, okay? Oh, good job. Yeah. Try not to skip. When we're gonna do something more difficult, try not to skip the squares. Okay? So now from the side, both legs up. Somebody did some basketball school. From other side as well. Okay. Yeah, other side. Good job. Yeah, don't forget the hands. Oh, there's some water, guys, if you want. Later on, if I can feel that or see they really try to even more complex. So only with one leg, guys. So up. Other one is straight. Other one goes in. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. Good job. Good job. Yeah, only other one is straight. Only one leg inside. It's to distinguish which is right, where to move, because sometimes they think faster than they can move. Okay, not bad. But usually when we're doing drill, it's always right. So we always attacking. Always we want to attack, which, as we know, basketball is 50% defense, right? So just not focusing only on to go in front. I also like to give on defense. We always back. We'll be front. We'll again back. So those exercises, guys, let's try to do backwards, okay? So if you did this, let's try to do backwards, because always go front. For kids, it's easy to go to attack, but as well we need to develop defense, because once you attack, other time you have to defend. So yeah, twice. Let's try to do it backwards. This is like interesting thought. When I was in Spain in conference, I don't know, maybe you know, this Jeffrey, a strength and conditioning coach. He wrote, I think, 8 books on strength and conditioning, and this stuff really was concentrating more on the defense rather than the offense. Yes. Yeah. So we're gonna. Yeah, later. Yeah, there's gonna be more exercises, because all the kids at first they want to see, and then you can never dribble like this, right? You need to see your teammates. You need to see the basket, everything. So at first we learn. Then I have some more exercise. Really good point. Really good point. For this one, we did it in front. Let's try to do it to the backwards. Let's go. Because at first to learn it's not easy. You have to watch to make it, and then when you're really comfortable with exercise, watch the surroundings. Otherwise, you're done. In the court, you're done. Yeah. All good, all good. Just don't rush. As well, try to hop, jump. Okay, it's not easy. It's not easy. Yeah, jumping backwards, it's not easy. But it's something we have to help with kids. Otherwise, they're gonna be managing only to the front. Okay. Yep. Twice, right? The first time, you know, if it's too familiarized, second time, try to do faster, okay? Have you tried going this one? Let's try. Good job. Not bad, not bad. All right. Well. Good job. Really good job. You will need to go with this guy. This guy is also good. Then you're gonna do some races. Yeah. So, for the point you made, that ice is down always, what I like to do with my athletes, it's to make them watch. Not to be always looking. Yeah, okay. Take this one. Can you grab this one as well? Thank you. They are not very good. Okay, let's try this one. To put some visual points for them. Nah, let's put. Can you put the red one here? Yeah. Okay. I'll put the another one the other side. So all the exercises We did on the laterals. Do the same. And we make a little. Yeah, let's put it here. One is red, other white. And then we are doing the exercises. So let's make pair, guys. 2 versus 2. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna do exercises first, and we have to follow the color. So if I'm gonna after the exercise, you have to sprint to the white cone. Okay? If I red, you have to go to the red. So first one, let's try this one. Okay? Wait my command. Okay? Ready? Hop. To the. Have to keep your eyes up. Ready? To keep your eyes up. Let's do this one, okay? Because it's quite important for them not to look always down. You never be like this in basketball court. So you have to be aware of your surroundings. Ready? Up. Hey, you have to look, right? Otherwise you're gonna make mistakes. Ready? Wait a second. Hop. Yeah, always have to look. Okay, let's start more difficult one with the competitive. Remember this one, right? From the front. Hop. Yeah, you will never know which one. Good job. Ready? Hop. Head high, keep your head high. Okay, good job, guys. Have some rest a little bit. So, doing these exercises, it depends on your imagination. This one I just came up when thinking the guys are also watching to the ground, and as we know, we have to react to opponents, we have to react to the ball, and so on. That's why we have to. And if they're doing all the exercise to the ground, I'm not happy. At first, when the small kids, it's okay. It's not easy for them. They really need to concentrate. But when you see when the guys are doing smoothly, as our Lietuva friend, the T-shirt, we have to improve. Otherwise, they're just gonna stay on the same level. And let's say, and as we mentioned, the rest is important. But you cannot say just rest or drink or whatever board, and you always need to do. Some of the basketball coaches are looking through your shoulder while they're doing nothing, right? A little bit pressure, but you have to them. So in between the rests, let's say few minute rest for them to really recover. Again, to do those maximal sprints, you do some or so on, or like what I like to give some tasks only for the brain. So as we know, like left side, other one from side. There's this organ hemispheres. So the more it's developed, the you can control both. It's when it's getting crossovered, right, and it goes from one and the other. Right-handers are way better with the right hand. But if not, they're not so developed the left hand. Well, all you need to do, I don't know if the term in the basketball, they just like closes the right hand. That's it. Basketball, the player is like almost done because he cannot dribble with the left hand. He cannot shoot. And to develop, you have to do some exercises for both hands, or some doing even on the left with hands and so on and so on. So on the rest, this is a little game that we can play while let's say the players are resting a little bit. Shooter, let's try everybody, guys. You have to hold like this your hand and just try to switch to the other side. If it was like this, switch again to the other side as fast as possible. Up, 2 fingers here, 2 fingers here. Try to switch. Make those brain work, okay? If this one here, switch to the other side. Oh, not bad. Just one finger is missing. It has to be like this, right? Switch fast, switch fast, switch. Not easy, right? Only So the little part in our how we can make our limbs work independently. So those kind of important with kids. What I do. Others, guys, can we have some balls? Yeah. Yeah. Again, for the coordination to involve all four limbs, let's try not to think about the legs, maybe about, let's go. Yeah, there's one more. I have one. Yeah, just make a pass. Come. Yeah, let's try to do it twice. Not for the small ones. Believe me, it's not it's not so easy at all. Now above your head, guys. Try to spin above your head. And make it to the squares. And at the end of the day, try not to look down, okay? Try to look straight forward. To be aware of your surrounding, guys. Make it to the squares. Oh, careful. All good, no problem. Two balls. Try to dribble. Okay, because the same time or alternating how you want, okay? Not bad. When the kids are older, you give them more difficult exercises, little by little, step by step. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. Not okay. Thank you, guys. What is for basketball? It's a transition. As we know, like, it's not, at the end of the day, we train them, we want to be strong, fast, but it's not track and field. You will never run fast as a 100-meter dash, right? I think the maximum average time, especially with kids, it's like 1.7 seconds you're gonna run straight, maximum, not anymore. Or like 10 meters, it's not gonna be more. So all the time we're changing direction, or we accelerate, we decelerate, we accelerate, we decelerate. So what I do for kids, for this transition, which is very important, and even nowadays in literature, there is more and more attention to it, is to develop deceleration and acceleration again. So what we're gonna do exercises, we're gonna sprint to the ladders really fast, then we have to decelerate, do the exercises, at the end of the day, at the end of the ladders, sprint again. Okay? Let's try. First one, yeah. Let's do this one first. Okay, guys? Wait a second. So there's two phases that are important for is when they decelerate, and then at the end when they accelerate again. All right? Bad, not bad. Yes. Uh-huh. Yes. Always correct, especially Okay, so when I mentioned the legs, or let's say if they do, of course, it's exercise, right? Deceleration. At first, we were in university, and from the data I had, they had to decelerate. Let's say at first like this, or let's say if the exercise is like running here, then you have to try to make them decelerate from the heel, not from the fingers, because otherwise the knee gonna have a lot of problems in the knee. If they always gonna try to decelerate from the fingers, right? They're gonna fall, they're gonna lose balance. So or from the knee or the full foot, they have to try to put it down, all right? Otherwise they're gonna fall or lose balance and so on. But then when doing these exercises, every exercise is unique. If you have to go from from the sides, you go like this. If the kid knees goes down, it depends of the mistake actually. When you're teaching them, you show them, and then especially when they're really small, you see something wrong, the ball going loose everywhere. Then you say, try to stay more stable. If you see that the legs going in, or like two out, or the knee very, or the hips in front and so on, try to make them as possible. Okay, it's not easy to say, like when you see let's say the kid, like exactly like the example, then you can adjust. All right, I don't know if I answered, but okay. And then again, from acceleration, you just try to, again, depend, sprint, very alert, especially when changing direction. You try for the kid to, it's healthy. If you want to change direction, you have to look there, your knees. But then your opponent gonna see. If you like put your head like this, like your heel, you switch, he's gonna know that you're gonna run there, right? So some of the coaches are learning for them to go inside and then switch. But it depends, like it's really detailed. It's more levels to do those kind of twists of changing of directions, especially the knee. Stability and mobility has to be really well developed, but this is like more next level. With the kids, you just try to do fundamentals. This is not for like 10 years old, like 13 maybe, older. It's not easy. Even though they have to do it, it's really not easy. These guys are high level, skill level. But just, this is like more the idea. This, yes. Per in the periodization, you mean, right? So as I mentioned before, and especially it was interesting conference in Spain. This Ian Jeffrey, that really good strength and conditioning coach. It was the first time I heard that, let's say, speed is not a physical ability, and it's like more a skill for a kid to develop throughout the years. Even though, let's say, there's not speed opportunity window, right? So like they're not really keen or they're not really good to develop. Either way, you should try, because their brain adjusts. So he suggested to do all the time in every period of year. I don't know, let's say once per week or twice the speed, because you have to give some rest. As let's say, I think it's like almost 48 or 72 hours for our nervous system to completely recover from like highly speed or like really explosive exercises. So twice per week. I also put it in the warm-up, let's say for the more advanced groups who like really knows. For small kids, for them it's like the whole training, just to learn it, just to correct. You take so much long, because I said at the beginning, like you have to train to train. So you have to develop for them those good techniques, those fundamental movements. Later on, you can put it in the middle of the training. Depends what are you doing. If it's tactical, because sometimes they're like shooting, and the coaches also like for them to do technique
on the fatigue as well, because there's third and fourth quarter, they don't have so much energy. So we do some drills, they go do shooting. We do some drills. So, but mostly I don't recommend to do at the end of the training, because if our nervous system is already tired, it's not too good to train when you're tired, because you're not gonna train those those fast fibers. You're gonna make them even more slower. So for warm up, yes. Middle of the training, at the end, I don't do it. I don't recommend. So I am not. And as you said, like, because usually you have to build up to speed. You have to do fundamentals. Let's say with the older players, you do endurance first in the summer, and throughout the periodization. Let's say in August before the season, then you go to strength, maximum strength, and so on, and then you go to speed and power. But with kids, you don't do that because they're just kids. You don't create those huge long periodizations and so on. Other thing with this kind of planning, because coaches they usually ask year mesocycle. Yeah, I think it's mesocycle. But at the end of the day, I only do, let's say, program like for a month in front, not more, because game schedule changes. Kids get sick. They have tournaments, and if you just, for me, it's a little bit waste of time because I readjust everything. Maybe 2 weeks in front, I can really program. Let's say on Monday, Friday, we're doing like speed or whatever. Like Tuesday, we do coordination more, then Wednesday rest, and so on. So I only, let's say, with little kids, you can develop throughout the year. With older, you have to really select the time. Only those more difficult exercises that are really good for them for explosive and speed. 13, when it's the high peak, yeah. The speed, power, especially, it's like you should, and it's really easy. When they're like growing, the testosterone, all the hormones kicks in, then it's really not difficult to train that, and you should focus on that as well. For girls, it's earlier. Yeah, a few years earlier, they reach it, and the boys 13, 15, 16. I even have like boys that hit puberty 17, a really late maturation. It depends on one of them like 13 years old, almost 2 meters. Other one is like once, and because now we do like trying to do some coaches the individualization with even though the whole team is coming, a little bit separate, or like they distinguish the A team to B team and so on, because from the kid who's like really fast, for them it's going backwards to go to fundamentals. For other one, it's going forwards. So it's not easy job to optimize all the work and all the periodization and when to really put it in the training. So yeah, no problem. Mm-hmm. Some other, we, yes, we even do some stupid things as playing basketball with the rugby ball. Yeah, sometimes warm up, we do some stretching, we go play football, especially in the, let's say, off season or like pre-season. We try to incorporate like even playing rugby for them brain to think outside the box a little bit, outside from the basketball, because they get tired. So sometimes a little bit, we do like a little bit running, stretching. We play rugby for the warm up. We play football for the warm up. Sometimes even for the to cool off, doing some other exercises for them. The other field to the ball basket. It's like if you play with the rugby ball a bit, then you go to basketball ball. It's so easy to do it. So yeah, we sometimes incorporate those other sports to especially when I was working in Sabonis basketball school, because we had the tools, we had courts, we had football balls, rugby balls, so it was quite easy. Yeah. Ah, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. Like, yeah. Yeah, about this, I didn't know it. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, that's interesting. That's quite interesting. Yeah, thank you. Uh, yeah, yeah. It's really, yeah, yeah, not easy. This is what I did in the camp in Sweden. I remember also like 7, 6. Let's say the wrist has to go above the hip, right? Go, let's say here, forward, because it's almost or here, or you here. But what you should do, at first I just doing this, but really it's them it faster, make race. Who's gonna make it faster, like 20 times or something? But basic things. Then we sit, also do the same. We do running without the limbs, only about the hands. Right then, I like to because without that kind of simple walking. Because some kids are doing exercise like to do like this, right? Especially young ones. So we do then we doing faster. Then I like to do some coordination and balance. Let's say 1, 2, 3. Even with these guys, with the Chinese guys, also for balance, for the foot, it's really important. And little we progress. Then we go to running. Then we go on ladders to think where to put the leg. Just using little imagination, you progress with the exercises. At least what I do and what I did with the small kids. Yeah. Basketball coaches. They used to do it, not anymore. They hire people like me. Because it used to be like one coach for everything. They know recovery, they know how strength and conditioning. Now, because the knowledge is really getting bigger, literature is getting more wider. For only basketball coach, it's not easy to know everything. So now, even our national teams has strength and conditioning coaches, physiotherapists. I think in third league there is not, but first league every team has it. In Lithuanian first league, national league I think as well. I was working as well in national league. Yeah, second league. Yeah, youth teams. Algary school there is one basketball. I also work as well. In Sabonis I was only me. Now they're hiring even younger ones. Our Perkūnas, Tornado teams as well has now, as I know. They even like, let's say in Panevėžys, other city, the youth teams, they go to track and field coaches if they don't have to ask like once or twice at least those strength trainings, fundamental trainings. Yeah, no, no, no. It's the strength and conditioning coach responsibility. We have our trainings. This with kids. Basketball coaches only about basketball. No problem. Before, yeah. hmm hmm So to the front, I I was teach. I looked, as I mentioned before, with the closeout. We go like we don't try not to go with the knees everywhere or a bit to the front. As I say, it has to be stable. When they stop, I immediately try to push them. Are they stable on the ground or are they gonna be good with the feet? Because your center of mass, if your legs will be wider, is gonna be, yeah, if it's here, if they push me, I'm gonna fail. If I'm gonna stand like this, I'm gonna fail. A bit wider and a bit back. It depends. It depends. Let's say, of course, of the player. If his hand is with the basketball on the right hand, you have to go first leg on the left hand and so on. But oh, okay, so to the front, we stop like this and try to be as stable. Because every time you're gonna stop differently. You're never gonna stop in the textbook. directions to decide. Healthy way is try to spin and go to the way, right? Or even when you stop, you're going like this to try to a little bit twist it. And the person who's in front of you. So I've seen also some other perspectives. Defense, they're putting their knee, then running like this. But this is how to decelerate. And then okay. Yeah, so I'm going more to most effective. Also some this is a good question. Some basketball coach different from ours. Mine is to be injury free for a kid because a lot of injuries happens when you can decelerate on the contact. So for us at first we're doing healthy for them to be stable and to absorb all the energy you created while you're running. So a bit below. Because when let's say also landing on the jumps, we have to use all the free joints. Otherwise, if you're not gonna use the knee, shirt, ankles, and to the hips. So as in sprint, used all free joints. If I first, I try to and use all free joints. Otherwise, you're gonna hit the knee a lot. Especially now, the kid is doing a rehab with me, and he had a knee injury, and he's like he doesn't want to bend the knee at all, because he's still afraid. He's still afraid in the mental that it hurts, it's gonna hurt, and even though we do squats, it doesn't hurt. But when he needs to stop, his legs are straight, and to change direction from the straight legs, it's not easy, right? So a bit low, and try to be stable, legs a bit wider. And the point when you made, it's, I don't know, I don't, even though it might be a good point, if you want to change or let's say, I don't know, misdirect the opponent and so on. So yeah, I don't know if I answered. I think not really. Older players. Yes. Even now I read the book. The strength, let's say in older or adults or even elite, they train strength keep so because it's you're like older kid. I think there's one game at least here, and it's like 16, let's say years old, 17. We do trainings, strength trainings. Then you can really train throughout the season. And endurance, we do let's say special endurance for the basketball, and we maintain it. Not like really developing, but maintaining, because sometimes they even 2 games per week, and you have to before that if it's like important games. But we develop strength and throughout. But of course, there's blocks. Let's say we have this philosophy of the blocks. Let's say this month strength. Other month, let's say 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we're gonna concentrate more on endurance. Or 1 week or something. We have like no games for weeks. We reschedule again the plan. Let's say at first free trainings of strength, then endurance. It really depends because it's easy to plan the whole year, right? Because the schedule really changes. Maybe coronavirus or something gonna come. Try to maintain and if possible to develop. Yeah. More questions or something to discuss? Mm-hmm. Oh, Yeah, I know this. A lot of people do that. I try to avoid it. Not like avoid it. I don't do that with kids. Even though I see other coaches doing it and so on. I don't know, like at first it's I think maybe it's not so bad, but I just don't do it. Maybe I don't know so much about this exercise, so something if I don't know a lot and not really my let's say my knowledge is not good enough, I am not doing it because I don't know if I'm gonna make it worse or it's gonna make it bad because like if I don't know I'm just getting right. Yeah, so I'm sorry I cannot answer. I just don't do it, yeah. Achilles tendon. Uh-huh. Just yeah. So our let's say so when you're asking the position of basketball coach, there's the strength coach and there's like physiotherapist. So it's more like I don't like to go to the I'm more trained for let's say for tendons I do isometric training or like just call training, so simple with kids like nothing more. But let's say for patella, knee tendons, we do is just holding like this for the prevention of the knee injuries. Just holding, but what is the therapist how to because we need to let's say in off season prepare them for the season, and usually to make your tendon stiff you need like for 10 weeks 12 weeks, so it's a lot, almost 3 months. So they really help us with those injury prevention and so on things, how to prevent those Achilles tears or like meniscus tears and so on, what kind of exercises. So for the knee I think our basketball like Chinese players hate this exercise, like 40 seconds 30 seconds just holding. Of course, they have to feel not this leg, but in front for it really fire up. Then the tendon is always in the isometric position, and if you eat well after that and giving nutrition, then it's gonna be more stiff, which is even if it's more stiff, like if a tendon, knee tendon is gonna they're gonna jump higher, fast, and run faster and be injury free. Yeah. But especially for Achilles, I cannot answer now. Like if they cannot even do on the ladders, like there's some other with the cones and so on. That their feet and their knee are like their feet are going inside, knee go inside. I try not to do it because of those knee valgus and stuff. But if the players I see they're like developed well enough, we do some jumps. But at first we're doing also basic the landing things, just jumping, just simple jumps, then maybe to the side, then on and try to check how the knees, how the ankles, how energy they develop the ground, because two plyometrics are only like the plyometric I really like is with the jumping rope, and I like to do with the kids as well. With the thing, sometimes even with the we just do for the feet as well. It's like simple. Now I have in Žalgiris school 2007, like 13 years old, that cannot do that. Yeah, it's hard for them. For some of them it's easy, for others it's hard, and like for the feet, for the first basic plyometric I use this with the small kids. Sometimes even in the warm up. And then I can see that they're like familiar with the landing technique. They're like I can see that they're gonna adjust and strengthen enough for plyometrics. Then I do plyometrics, because let's say I think there was a study from Dan. They absorb the sprints, how many sprints kids do per game, and how many jumps. 16, they do more than 200 sprints, and all they do is run one side to the other. I'm not so into jumping at the beginning because it's easy really to make those knee injuries, chondromalacia. jumper knee and so on. So even though like if they do more sprinting rather jumping, just maybe run a lot, maybe to how to run and so on. So plyometrics later on, it really depends of the kids. Mhm. 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 Not affect child. Mhm. So if I understood correctly, the let's say the player is basketball player, and then after season they go do other sports. Eh, for the off season, let's say to the beginning of September or something. Uh, yeah. Mhm. Uh huh. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Uh huh. Mhm. Yeah. At the bigger pitch. Yeah. Not only. Mhm. Uh-huh. So personally, I never had this experience, to go from one sport to another and what the coaches or let's say in football would do. So I think I'm not very, well educated to answer this question, yeah. But I don't know whether you have to keep going or I really not I never experienced this. I don't want to say nonsense or to lie what I don't know. So I'm sorry. I cannot answer, yeah. Yeah, sorry. I don't know, have something. It's 10:20. We still can? Something. So here like 1 hour. Okay. Oh, okay. No problem. No problem. Mhm. 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 А, не понимаю по-русски. Мальчик. Du Gulbis. Ar reikia jos tempt ar ne? About the hamstring. So, stretching, you mean like if in general they have to be stiff hamstrings? Or, so in my opinion, I don't think they should be stiff. Otherwise, they shouldn't, because like if it's they stiff, how does it work, right? So if I'm gonna flex the knee, the muscle gonna contract, right? If I'm gonna stretch it, the muscle gonna relax. And when we sprint, our quads and our hamstrings, they constantly contract, extend, contract and extend. If the muscle is tight, very tight, you will either way will need to do the sprint, let's say to go to the defense again or like to offense, fast break, whatever. If it's too tight, usually let's say in sprint, what kind of injuries happen when the quad is too strong and it just tears the hamstring? Because in basketball it also happens. We have also one player that injured his hamstring. If it's too tight and our quad is like too strong, or let's say to release, it contracts so fast and so strong, and if the hamstring is tight, it doesn't, it's just doesn't make it to yeah, it's not make it to extend, and then it tears, injury appears. So if it's tight, it's not really good. Yeah, like they have to be tight at some point. Let's say when you do that post-activation potentiation, let's say before the games, when you make them warm up or do like some particular stabilization exercises, they're gonna be tight. But at the end of the day, they have to be relaxed. Relaxed, I mean like they have to go to relaxation stage as fast as to tighten stage. Otherwise, injury gonna appear, and they have to be balanced between ham. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. 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 So. Mhm. So yeah, what we do, let's say, we test at the beginning of season the VO2 max. Maybe you know like the how much oxygen can an athlete take. It's simple test with like yo-yo intermediate test, and then you can see the levels at which level the athlete are, and then you just distinguish what we did. Let's say distinguish them by groups, and then there's like particular distance for them to run in this particular time. So let's say on 150 meters, they have to run in like 62 seconds. And this is how we like and then yeah, this is how we developed, as I did, like also like shuffle runs or sprints, or like with the older players we do more specialized. Let's say there's like two guys on the free throw and they're always passing the ball, and they're like for let's say 2 minutes they have to run and make shots, run, make shots, run, make shots, because at the end of the day, when you're tired, you have to make the basket, because the team wins who makes more points, right? So that's how we distinguish. We do some tests, then we do the training, then we take a test again, whether we improved or we did it worse. We make it worse, yeah. So with kids, even though we're doing it a bit older, kids, not with the young kids, we don't do those tests. It's a bit too early, even though they need to run a lot to improve the lung capacity. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So with the kids, it's tricky because they recover really fast. Kids, the recovery and the metabolism, the hormones, they're like recovering really fast. So what I do, I communicate with the kids, look into their eyes, like if they're really red or like the face is white, you know. If they feel okay, I really ask, "You're okay, good to go, or are you feeling tired?" And like at first it was hard, but the subjective opinion of an athlete is very important nowadays. They're even now making this logo algorithms for load management, just asking how an athlete feels from the 1 to 10 Borg scale. So what I do, I just communicate. At first, for kids, it's really hard to say how they feel. Yeah, I'm okay. I can run. Why are you even asking me? But then they add, "Coach, I'm a bit tired." And when they're tired, you have to give some rest. Yeah, I have to give some rest. Uh, because like in track and field, there is like rules how you have to. Let's say you have like 4 minutes rest, but it's not gonna happen in basketball court. You're not gonna run one sprint, then wait 4 minutes and go to the defense. Yeah. So you have to adjust to the kids, and then you go to specialization. Let's say sometimes you don't even do all of it, like 1-2 seconds rest, but like for like 40 seconds, because in a game there's gonna be intense moments. Then it's gonna be like one foul after another, and they're gonna rest a lot. So yeah, the variability is also important. Uh huh. Yeah, I also got some controversial thoughts about it, but I do it sometimes as well for the little muscles, you know, small muscles around the knee, hips. So I implement them sometimes, but not very often, because let's say on the basketball court, everything is hard, you know. So some coaches are also saying they never gonna be on the this, I don't know, unbalanced. But for the, let's say, to improve those little muscles for the coordination, I don't think it's so bad. So sometimes I use it. Mhm. Mhm. So very important for me are feet, because most of the basketball players have injury feet. Let's say for the kids, especially because like parents, they like to buy shoes a little bit bigger, which is makes sense because the player's gonna grow and you're gonna uh, do a lot of expenses of the shoes. So the feet are like really moving a lot, and it's most of the time it's very flat. So we're doing a lot for our feet for exercises, you know, just to make stable, or like standing on one leg, eyes closed, then yeah, eyes closed, just like standing like this, yeah, trying to keep the balance. Then you make more, let's say you put some kind of movement, right? Simple lunges, squats for the strength, you know, from the basics, yeah, something basic. This is more too specific. I try not to go there a lot. Basketball coaches are doing because I can do worse. Let's say go to balls and try to do something, you know, like it's more specialization, so I leave that to basketball coaches, or like I talked with them, is this one is good exercise, but I try to a bit avoid that because I can make it worse. Like basketball coach is gonna be very angry at me. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Mhm. The warm up, like so. Uh, for the mochi to drop, it's so if it's like its weight, it's up again because so shouldn't do it, but so, but if you injury, uh, something else, yeah, yeah. You mean like static stretching or dynamic stretching? Stretching, both. So you used to be thinking like track and field and everywhere they do those static stretching, let's say 30 seconds long stretching and so on. But now it's in literature, yeah, it states that it decreases your power and speed if you stretch longer than 20 seconds, 30 seconds, which is not what we want right before the game. Yeah, if you stretch long, if you're stretching long, them to contract and extend again like really fast, because when we're sprinting it's happening really fast. Our fibers, they're contracting, expanding, contracting, and so on and so on. So dynamic stretching is better. Let's say what I read, stretching to 6 seconds, right? Because when I was doing with older players, men, they used too long stretching. They said, coach, I don't feel great, like I'm not warm up, something is wrong. So what I do with them, let's say fool them a little bit. I lie to them. Yeah, we're gonna do static stretching, but actually we're doing more to dynamic. We're just holding up to 6 seconds. then there's nothing to your power or speed. No influence, let's say, but it's what states, so I try to do it. But I prefer dynamic stretching before doing some, let's say, sprints or jumps or like games, and then static stretching. If you did a lot of running, I do static stretching because it helps to relax the muscle after the training. But if you did, let's say, with older players with strength and hypertrophy, I prefer aerobic recovery, so with running or on the bike, because then our blood vessels expands and all the nutrition goes to our muscle, and it's better rather to do long stretching. If youth, I really try to develop this dynamic before and let's say aerobical or static stretching for training for the recovery. Yeah, no problem. I don't know, maybe I'm boring you at this moment. Maybe fed up of me. It's nice, really, if you have something. Just ask. Okay, more questions.